Back on Marching to Madness this afternoon, we have first-year Temple Owls head coach Adam Fisher. He joins the club after 8 years as an assistant at Miami, a stop at his alma mater, Penn State, for the last 2 seasons. He was key in 4 consecutive NCAA trips for Coach Jim Larrañaga with the Hurricanes. The last 2 years with Micah Shrewsberry up at Penn State, they were a major Big Ten challenger with their defense and a 2-point loss only in that Big Ten title game, their first one, to the Purdue Boilermakers. Coach Fisher, welcome so much. I hope I'll be saying welcome back.
Ken, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me today.
Sure. Hey, as you go into Temple for the first season, talk about being the head coach in such a legendary and prestigious program.
No, it's an honor and a privilege to be the head coach here. I grew up in Bucks County, PA, so a little less than an hour from Temple's campus. So I grew up watching the great, Coach Chaney teams and have just so much respect for what Coach Dunphy's done here. Coach McKee did, and he's obviously one of the greatest to play here too. So the history really hits home for me, and this is a place that I wanted to be because of that success, because of that history. And it's a players program. We've reached out to a lot of former players since we've been back because it's their program. They've built this, and that's something that's really important to me.
When you took the job in late March, what became keys on the early part of your agenda?
The first thing, I probably made my first mistake as a head coach was earlier in the week, I decided that we were going to go, my wife and I were going to go to the Final Four and support Coach Larrañaga and Mrs. Larrañaga and his team, Miami Hurricanes. So got the job on a Wednesday night, and we already had a scheduled flight from Philadelphia Thursday morning at 7 a.m. So I became a head coach, team meeting, went right to a store to buy some Temple gear. So I had it for the Final Four because it was a secret all day that I was going to be named the head coach, and jumped on a plane and immediately went to the Final Four. But that's kind of who I am. And it shows, Coach L is the greatest mentor. Him and his entire family, like they mean a lot to me, and we wanted to be there for that special moment for him. So that was fun. Then once you get through that, you're on the plane, like, okay, what do I got to do? Prioritize. First thing, obviously, is build a roster. That was the number one thing. We had to build a roster, and I really wanted to take time to meet with all the current student athletes at Temple. That was something really important to me, that whether they were staying, going, I wanted to at least have a conversation with them. So we did that immediately. And then the other thing I think we prioritized right away, and I say we, was because I hired a staff quick, and I learned from, working for Coach Wright at Villanova and Coach L and Micah Shrewsberry, like, you got to have a great staff. So that was like the probably priority one. Like I was already like, hey, here's my names. This is who I want to go get. My agent, who's awesome, Evan Daniels, was like, hey, you got to have more names. Like you only have 3 names for assistant coaches on a list. I go, I'm getting all 3. He's like, okay, seriously, you got to have some more names. And, I was lucky we were able to get Michael Huger, who coached with me at Miami, and he was also played for Coach Larrañaga. He was the head coach at Bowling Green to be our associate head coach. I've known Chris Clark a long time, played for Coach Chaney. He understands what Temple tough means, and he's from the city, so which is great. And then Bobby Jordan's a guy that I've known for a long time. He worked for an amazing head coach this past year, Dwayne Killings, head coach at Albany. So I was able to hire those guys right away, and they said, hey, let's do it. Let's join. And then we also got a director of basketball quick. He was playing in the Final Four. He was part of the Miami staff, but a former Temple manager. Jimmy Polisi was a guy that we wanted to bring back and run our program, because the director of ops is such a hard role, Ken, as you know, and it takes on so much. And I know he was ready for that step up. So prioritizing the roster, getting a great staff. And then the third thing I would say is, you have to have a great wife to do all this, because I'm running around with my head cut off and I forget, wait, we still have a house in State College. Wait, now we need a new house. Wait, who's watching our 2.5-year-old daughter? What's going on? So, you got to have an amazing wife. So my wife was incredible. And, that helped make this transition so much easier.
That's awesome. Good for you and your marriage and like that. And I was going to say, a coaching staff is like a team within a team.
It is, Ken. We pieced it together. So I'm a big, just like our roster, I'm big into like a puzzle. And how does it fit together? I don't want 2 of the same. It doesn't make sense. So our staff just fits so well together. You know, I'm a little bit upbeat, positive. You can probably tell quickly. I talk with my hands. I get excited, and I need that positive energy near me. So, I had to find guys that match that, and they bring it probably more than I do. So the energy in our offices is just out of this world. I told our team, let's keep it the same way throughout the season. It's easy right now. Haven't lost yet. Everybody's nice to us. But the energy they bring and their expertise, Ken, like these guys have coached NBA players. They developed NBA players. And that was something that was really important to me. And they've all won. All the assistants we've brought in have won. And we need to create a winning culture. And it starts with those guys. I think then it trickles down.
If you look at your roster of the teams you've been on, stuff, you've been a key in recruiting really highly rated players. How do you analyze what the key elements are in recruiting, or does it vary from person to person?
I think it varies, and I think I've been really lucky at the place I've been. Recruiting's been a team effort. Like, I think that's the biggest key is for recruits to get to know everybody. And then I've always joked, like Coach Larrañaga is like the Mariano Rivera. He's the closer. Like he's unbelievable with the recruits. Micah Shrewsberry, same thing, just incredible. Hopefully we'll have some guys get drafted that played at Penn State coming up here on Thursday night. But just having that collective energy and effort. And I think you got to identify the right young man. And it's different at every university. There's certain players and student athletes I'll recruit to Temple that maybe I wouldn't somewhere else, and vice versa. So we want to identify right now the young men that fit Temple. And we talked about right off the bat, the history here. They've got to understand that. And the academics, we have what's called the Resnick Center here. Our academic support is second to none. It's incredible.
Awesome.
And that's a huge push for us.
Yeah, sure. Now when you've worked in the portal as a highly successful assistant coach, when you try to man that portal as a head coach, what are some of the likenesses and differences?
I'm not sure. I'll probably have to answer that in a year because right now I'm still recruiting like an assistant. So I joke with our staff all the time. They're like, "Hey, coach, we got this." Like, I'm used to I joked with Jalen Pickett when I was recruiting him at Penn State. I was calling him 4 to 5 times a day. And there was a couple of young men that we've got here at Temple. I started calling. They're like, "Coach, let us do that." Like, it's okay. You got the bigger list. So, I think it just takes a team. You got to analyze it. I think the biggest difference is now, as an assistant, you're bringing names to the table. Hey, I think you should watch this guy. He fits what you want to do. So I had to really make sure our staff knew what I wanted to and what I'm looking for. So that's why it took me some more time. And they've been great at identifying guys. And that's probably the biggest change. Now you get 3 assistants telling you, take a look here. And you're like, okay, next guy. And, just keeping that organized is really important.
When you look at the Temple Owls, back to where you think about the term NCAA tournament with the program, and you think about it kind of each season, so what are the key building blocks maybe to make sure you're back there, at least knocking on the door?
Yeah, that's the goal. And we came here to win. Everybody says that, right? When you get a job at the press conference, we want to win. And it's going to take time. Like we got to build it with a foundation. And, I'd love to be there this year. I'd love to be there the following year. Like that's our goal, to continue to play, well into March. And that's the meaningful games in March. That's what we talk about with our players. And I'm open about it. I want to play meaningful games in March. And I think it starts with habits. You got to create great habits. Learn that from Coach L. So this summer, we're spending a lot of time on connecting, coming together. So the NCAA only gives you a certain amount of time on the court, but we've tried to add a summer speaker series where we bring people from the outside world in to speak to our guys about real life things. And they all have a notebook and they all take notes. And we had our men's golf coach at Temple speak this week. He's been at Temple, man, I'm probably going to mess this up, 30, 40 years. And he's just incredible. Wow. He just talked about what it means to go to Temple and what it does for your life. And I think these guys, you hear from people about real life experiences. It brings them all together. So a long answer for we got to come together until we can get to where we want to go to playing games into March.
How about the ability to keep Heiser, Miller, and top 4, I think, right now that return to the Temple roster?
So Hasir Miller came back. Hasir Miller's been great. He's from Philadelphia. He had taken some other visits. We met with him when we got here. And it's a big jump for him. Like I want him to be a leader, and I need him to be a leader. I told him so. He's done a great job. He was with us. He hosted a lot of recruits when we first got here because he understands what it takes to be a Temple student athlete. And I think it's important. And he's just got a great personality, a great way about him. I think he's going to make a huge jump this year. That's a guy that I think people are going to be like, wow, he's got a lot better on the court.
Sure. Now, Jordan Riley and Quante Berry are two important transfers into the Temple program. Talk about their games and how they can help you right away.
Yeah, Jordan Riley just really excites me. He played in the Big East, obviously, and he's had some big games at 18 points, and he's shown flashes of it throughout his career. We need him to be a little bit more consistent, but he comes in every day with a smile. I love seeing him every day. Coach, what do you need? What can I do for you? And he's always in the gym on his own. He's getting extra in. He's got great length. He can shoot. He can drive. He passes. Defensively, he's so long and athletic. So he's someone that I'm really excited about. And he's got a great family. We got to know them through the recruiting process. So he just fits in with what we're trying to do. And it's the same with Quante. Quante's family on the visit, like just unbelievable. His mom just fantastic, and he brings that energy. I always say, he came from his family. He's got that energy, his ability to get downhill, make plays. And he redshirted on a really good team last year that went to the NCAA tournament. So he knows what it takes to win. He can shoot it. And I'm just super excited about him. He's only going to be a freshman. So we're really excited that he's part of our program.
I was looking at, obviously, statistics to refresh my memory of the Owls. Now, I noticed, they probably turned the ball over a little too much last year. And they probably want to force more steals, I think, just from what I was looking at. Was that what you saw, and how do you feel about, or how have you been working on that right now as well?
Yeah, I think we've spoken to the team a lot about, valuing the basketball, right? And I want to be a team that in our league, we want to be one or two in the lowest amount of turnovers per game. And defensively, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to try to get some easy buckets, get out in transition. And I told our team the other night, if we want to be great on offense, we got to be great defensively. And that's how it starts. So we're learning quickly to value the basketball. And we have some drills we do that, hey, the ball's on the rack, run out. What do you do for the rest of practice? You might have to run. So we got to learn quickly, take care of the basketball. And I really believe in extra passes and the right reads. And, it's all new to our guys right now. So they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out me. They're trying to figure out what's going on. So there are a little bit turnovers right now. And, you see a lot of those, my bads. I go, we know it's your bad. We're good. We move on. But we're going to try to take care of the basketball this year. It's going to be a huge point of emphasis for us.
Now, I know the Owls lost 7 out of their last 9 games. Now, how do you reinvigorate the players that remain and get them in a better place as far as believing in themselves and their own games after the way it ended?
It's not something, honestly, Ken, we've really addressed. I think Coach McKee did a great job. He brought in some great, talented guys.
Yeah.
For us, it's more, we just want to instill confidence in the guys that are here. I don't really talk a lot about what they did last year. We have so many new guys and recruiting guys that were here to come back. So we just believe in creating confidence. It's positive. We listen to music at practice. It's energetic. There's Motown. There's Billy Joel. They think I'm crazy, but we got it blaring in the gym. And, I want it to be upbeat. I like that. And again, we're huge into confidence. It's something that Coach Larrañaga really showed, like guys on game day, you got to put the utmost confidence. And that's what we've really tried to work on, is just being positive with these guys, knowing it's all new, and creating that positive energy throughout practice.
College basketball, there's not that many mismatches anymore. You look at the Final Four, you had Miami, Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, who were all there for the first time. Thoughts on that? And then your thoughts on maybe UConn. They started out great. They had a little bit of a dip, and then they go on and win the national championship, and they play so well for 6 games.
I think it's a long season, right? It's not as long, obviously, as the NBA with their season, but it's a long season. And I think that's where, confidence comes in. It's like a boxing match, right? You're going to go 12 rounds. We're going to go 31 rounds in the regular season, and we're going to get knocked down. We got to get back up. You got to get back up. And I think you see a lot of teams that are great do that. I think probably all the 4 teams, without being around their program, hit some adversity that made the Final Four. How do you react to it? Are you going to fight through it, or are you going to fold? And that's something we talk about a lot with our guys. So, I think it's just continuing to stay positive, taking each experience and learning from it. I treat the gym like it's my classroom. So we're big into teaching. Film is a teachable tool. It's not to yell and scream. These student athletes have to make quick decisions, and it's easy for us to watch on film 9 times. Rewind. Oh, you could have done this. So we got to instill the great habits on that. So, I think it just we've got to do a great job of creating, hey, there's going to be some adversity. When does it strike? I don't know. Is it game 1? Is it game 10? And I think we just have to make sure we prepare that we're built for it. Hey, we got knocked down. Let's get back up. And I'm sure those teams that did reach the Final Four this year and had incredible runs. And congratulations again to UConn. Coach Hurley, what an amazing coach he is. And that whole staff, great staff. I'm sure they hit some adversity and they fought through it. And at the end, there's only one team that's really smiling. I know there's a NIT champion and CBI, whatever it may be. But at the end, there's one that everybody's watching. And it's hard. It's really hard to do. And, I've been lucky enough to get to a Final Four. That's hard. It's hard, and you got to be a little bit lucky, right? So we got to tell our guys, hey, keep fighting. And at Penn State this year, we were 5-9 in the league at one point, and then we go on to, guys we go on a great run, and it shows you like, hey, we just got to stay with it. It's I hate using the Sixers old phrase, right? Trust the process, but it is. You got to believe in what you're doing. And when there are adjustments that need to be made, you got to believe that we'll make the right adjustments and attack from there.
Coach Adam Fisher, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking forward to watching the Temple Owls play basketball this year and see what it's all about there, Coach. I really appreciate your time this afternoon, and I wish you the best. I hope I see you down in Florida at some point.
Anytime you need tickets, Ken, we got you. We'd love to have you be a guest of ours.
Oh, it's awesome. Thank you so much, and good luck.